Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. That is Jack. I am Conrad, and this is the 45, the final two matches of Week 16, the midweek, Week 16. So
Maybe two.
We're going to get to that right away. So Everton and Man City were postponed, I should say, on Monday due to the spread of COVID-19 throughout the City squad. In the most recent round of testing in the Premier League, 18 out of 1,479 subjects tested positive, which is about 1.2%. When you compare that to what, I am not a statistician here, what the Office for National Statistics in the United Kingdom say, that it is 1.05 in England. Not all of the UK, just in England. So slightly higher rate in the Premier League, about 14% higher.
Smaller size, though.
For reference, the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control in the country where this show is recorded, reported a roughly 12.1% rate in week 51, so roughly the same time period, which is down from 12.9% the week prior.
Leading the way as per.
And that is only today we had the rapid spread case, the first one reported in the state of Colorado. No commentary necessary, but the Premier League has, according to the Telegraph at least, discussed a 2-week suspension of play, which is probably very smart to safeguard all involved in football matches. Smart, provided the players, the coaching staffs, everybody involved stays home, limits their interactions with other people outside their household, all of that stuff.
Yeah, it feels a lot like back in March when everything, you were getting tests. I remember when the NBA shut down, that was the one for me where it really kind of hit me that this is real. This is a very similar situation where a lot of things are happening in a really rapid succession, and it's overwhelming, honestly, for the Premier League to deal with because they don't want to be aiding the spread. So I'm interested to see what they do. If this Tottenham-Fulham match that we're going to talk about actually goes forward or not. It's going to be a tough entering of 2021.
January and February are going to be pretty bleak, I think, before we really get widespread adoption of any of this vaccine. But this is not that show. But we do have to deal with it. Last time out, Fulham manager Scott Parker watched from home because somebody in his own household had tested positive. His quarantine now is over. It was their fourth straight draw, a goalless affair with Southampton. Now, this game in jeopardy, as per Peter Rutzler, who's the Fulham reporter for The Athletic, reported today that the match is in doubt due to the number of Fulham players and or coaching staff testing positive. Scheduled kickoff is 1 p.m. here in the U.S., 6 p.m. local. I'm guessing this match probably not going to happen. If I'm a Spurs player, I'm not even sure I want to go out on the pitch, not knowing who else has been exposed in that Fulham side, because they could be, not necessarily positive yet, but
yeah.
But that said, Spurs have fallen off the pace a little bit. Just one win in their last 5, 1-1 draw to Palace, 2-1 loss to Liverpool, 2-0 loss to Leicester, the 1-1 draw to Wolves at the Molineux over the weekend. It's an important 3 points, as always. Spurs to move back into the top 4. Even with that troubling 5 matches, they still can get back into the top 4 with one win. Fulham just need points. They sit 18th on 11 points.
Yeah, I mean, you have to manage for both these teams those footballing concerns as well as, could a pandemic spread on that pitch? I don't want to make a joke about the football would be like sickening to watch, but Spurs have not been good recently.
No.
And Fulham actually, in comparison to where they have been previously,
4 straight draws.
4 straight draws is not bad. If you get a positive result, assuming this game happens tomorrow, then that's 5 without a loss. And considering that you are a relegation threatened team, you're not winning games. That's a very slow progression of points. It's avoiding defeat. It's getting more than 0 points per match. Versus Spurs, this is a must-win should it happen tomorrow because you haven't gotten a result in 4. And if you look at that form chart on the PremierLeague.com website and you see the last 5 matches, you don't see a single green circle, you're going to be quite upset with yourselves, especially considering that 5 matches ago, 4 currently, you were top of the league. Now you're looking at yourself in 7th with City behind you who have a game in hand, and you really kind of question what happened? We've kind of fallen off the pace a bit, and I think this is a prime match for them to get back on track. And Fulham, they've got another tough test for themselves. They've shown that they're capable with the 1-1 draw against Liverpool, a very good example of being very proactive. You compare their results with West Brom's, both 1-1 draws against the champions, and very different styles of play, which I think Fulham will be much more I guess, encouraged by, because they were much more progressive. And I think against Spurs, they'll be less willing to go forward because they're just a different style team.
I think they got to take the reins off on this one.
I think they have to as well.
Back.
But considering that no result in 4, I imagine this is Mourinho shooting for a 2-0, just effectiveness and limiting the opportunities for Fulham. And
no Gareth Bale, no Lucas, no Vinicius.
Yeah, the Gareth Bale loan has been an interesting one because he hasn't played that much.
It's like Thiago for Liverpool.
But Thiago was world class last year. He was in the team of the year, even though he hasn't played for what feels like the last 6 months. So there's a lot more negativity at Spurs than there was just a few weeks ago. But that being said, their, I guess, psyche's flipped on a dime in that short amount of time. They can flip right back just with a few positive results. This is when you have to win. Not getting a point or not getting a win here at home against one of the worst sides in the league would be very upsetting.
Agreed. Necessary. Newcastle, Liverpool. So Newcastle have already had their match with Villa postponed due to the spread of the coronavirus through their own squad a few weeks back. And Liverpool were likely the last English Premier League team to play in front of fans, as I think Merseyside was the last one to go Tier 4, and I'm not sure if they've gone Tier 4 or not, to be honest with you. Newcastle sit 15th on 18 points, 2 wins, 2 losses, and a draw over the last 5. The most recent result being the 2-0 loss to Man City on Boxing Day. Liverpool failed to entertain those 2,000 fans in the 1-1 draw to West Brom. Will look to respond, perhaps come out more aggressively. Newcastle unpredictable, and that sums up this Premier League season thus far.
Yeah, their last 3 have not been as good as they were in the previous 2 before that, as you mentioned, their last 5. I don't really know what Newcastle or Liverpool to expect because they've both been very inconsistent. Liverpool will be happy that they're about 2 points clear with the same amount of games played as Man United, but they'll be also a bit upset that they are that close to a side who I think is much inferior to them in terms of their talent levels. So, especially coming off of that last result, especially seeing Man United, who's now the chasing club, get the win over Wolves, the phenomenal late goal from Rashford, a bit lucky on that one, but they'll want this result. They'll have every reason to go out for it, be positive. No Thiago, but it's we're getting to the point with Thiago where it's saying, okay, he's a serious contender to play, but he only started full training on Monday, so you can imagine they're going to save him for their next match. I believe it's Southampton on next Monday. So that's going to be very exciting for them because Thiago is one of the best midfielders in all of the world. So you get him in a few matches, but I guess the pessimistic Liverpool fans would say we've waited so long to see Thiago play consistently. Now they're going to slap in a 2-week break to try and prevent the spread, and then
I think it's necessary.
That I think is a discussion that is.
And Liverpool could use it just simply because of their defensive line is decimated with injury.
They have been limping to the January window. I think that signing Dayot Upamecano would be a brilliant idea for them, but for this match in particular, getting a bit big-idea'd. I think Newcastle have every reason to be confident. They have Dwight Gale, who is he terrorizes Liverpool. They'll remember him from Istanbul. They remember every time they play against him, he shows up. Last year, the last game of the season, he scored against them. So, and Liverpool, for as much talent as they have, for the mentality monsters they are, they're fragile at times because they don't have that defensive core that they used to. So if Newcastle can hit him in the jaw early, get a quick goal, then you definitely could imagine that they could get a result. And Liverpool, on the other side, you want to stamp down some authority, end 2020 on a positive note. You became champions for the first time in 30 years, end the year in a positive way. So
they're playing Reece James or Reece
Williams.
Yeah, Williams, sorry.
James's. Wrong club.
as their center back.
He's very good, but
they're not going to be able to play the high line. They're going to have to set back a little bit again, especially against a team that does have some speed in Newcastle.
Yeah, I am very interested to see how this goes out because they have a lot of managerial angst. Newcastle fans just permanently have angst, I guess, because it's just an angsty club.
They just want a new owner, too.
They want a new owner. I think they want Bruce out a little bit because they have so much talent. It hasn't been utilized that much. This is the kind of result that can catalyze the season. And on the flip side, from Liverpool wanting to end your champions winning 2020, Newcastle can say it's been an okay 2020. We survived the Premier League. We survived a pandemic, mostly.
Survive is a dangerous word.
Survive is a dangerous word. But I'm just trying to end it on a positive note, head into the new year, I guess with a big result, because if ever was a time to play Liverpool and have a fair chance to go at them and get a result, it's now. Especially because after that 2-week break, Thiago comes back fully fit, if
And we're
Keita
assuming the
gets over his
break
injury,
happens,
assuming that happens, if Keita gets over his injury, Van Dijk and Gomez are too far out to even consider yet. But Diogo Jota, we haven't seen him in a while. Shaqiri, Milner both getting back recently. So this Liverpool side could be incredibly different if they get a little bit of a respite in terms of a COVID break. So while it would be a very negative reason to have a break to try and limit the spread, I think every club could benefit from it. I saw an interesting idea on Twitter. Someone mentioned that, well, what if you moved the winter break that they usually would have
in February
into right now? It's worth a thought.
Well, I think they've got to do something. It's just we just hope that 2 weeks doesn't turn into 2 months, right?
Or however long it was last time. That was brutal without that much football.
But they've got to do what's necessary. But again, you
got to
10
balance.
times better off than this country is, and yet things continue here as if nothing is wrong without fans in attendance. Dumb.
You got to balance the mental health aspect, which a lot of people across the United Kingdom, a lot of people across the world love sports, especially football, as a way to get through these kinds of issues. You want to try and balance that, get those players on the field to play meaningful games, and also obviously respect that you need to make things safe. There's a lot that's happening right now, and it feels like every day something new is popping up. So
we will hope for no new news tomorrow other than people are good, football can be played, and we will move forward with the final 2 matches for Week 16. Then we will come back with a review of some of the top results thus far. Jack, Conrad, this has been the 45 Week 16 final 2 match preview. Please look for us on the Twitter. Comment here, subscribe. Let us know what you think. Look for us on the Twitter at the 45. Take care now.